Houthi leaders mocked Saudi Arabia as the regional conflict entered a dangerous new phase. The Houthis vowed to keep pressure on Saudi Arabia after tightening their blockade operations in the Bab al-Mandab. The group accused Riyadh of confusion and warned Saudi-backed operations would face continued retaliation. The Houthis warned Saudi Arabia's economic and energy interests remain exposed as the conflict widens. Yemen's Houthi-led Ansarullah movement said recent Saudi statements reflected what it described as growing confusion in Riyadh. The Houthis said the Saudi accusations came after Yemeni forces launched strikes on Aramco facilities in Jizan and Yanbu. A senior Houthi leader claimed Saudi Arabia blamed Iran to divert attention from the kingdom's blockade of Yemen. Houthi armed forces said they carried out coordinated strikes on Saudi Aramco facilities in Jizan and Yanbu on July 25. The group said the operation involved ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and attack drones targeting strategic energy sites. Spokesman Yahya Saree said the coordinated attacks had achieved their intended objectives against key Saudi infrastructure. Ansarullah claimed satellite imagery and online videos showed fires at the targeted sites despite Saudi interception claims. Senior Houthi official Ali al-Shami said Riyadh's response reflected growing pressure from the group's expanding strike capabilities. The Houthis said their siege-for-siege policy was a response to years of blockade imposed on the Yemeni people. Houthis claimed they shot down a Saudi-operated Bayraktar Akinci combat drone, according to Iran state broadcaster IRIB. The group said the Turkish-made combat drone was flying an operational mission over northern Yemen at the time of the incident. The Yemen-based group claimed the unmanned aircraft was carrying out what it described as hostile military activities. According to the Houthis, the drone was brought down while operating over Yemen's Al-Jawf province. The group identified the aircraft as a Bayraktar Akinci, one of Turkey's most advanced long-endurance combat drones. Yemen's armed forces released footage that they said showed the drone bursting into flames before crashing to the ground. The claim came after Saudi airstrikes targeted Sana'a International Airport earlier this month amid renewed hostilities. Yemeni forces later responded by launching ballistic missile and drone strikes against Saudi Arabia's Obo International Airport. Clashes erupted between Yemeni forces and Saudi-backed militias in Yemen's Al-Jawf province, according to Press TV. Airstrikes also targeted Houthi reinforcements in Marib and Al-Jawf provinces, Yemen TV reported, as fighting intensified. The broadcaster said the strikes hit missile launchers, Katyusha rocket sites and weapons depots used by Houthi forces. According to the reports, the airstrikes also targeted Houthi positions in the Al-Juba, Al-Safra, and Majzar districts. Yemen TV reported that several Houthi fighters, including missile specialists, were killed during the latest strikes. The escalation followed recent Houthi threats to target Saudi-linked commercial shipping operating in the Red Sea. The Houthis had earlier announced a maritime ban on Saudi Arabia, warning vessels transiting through the Bab al-Mandab Strait. The Houthis claim they have launched one of their biggest attacks yet, with massive explosions lighting up the Saudi skyline. Yemeni missile and drone strikes reportedly triggered huge fireballs across multiple locations in Saudi Arabia. Several Saudi cities reportedly came under attack as the Houthis opened a new front in the expanding regional conflict. Reports say Jizan, Yanbu, and Damad were rocked by powerful explosions during the overnight strikes. The Houthis appear to be expanding their target list, hitting energy sites, airports, and critical infrastructure. Missiles, drones, and massive fires reportedly plunged parts of Saudi Arabia into chaos overnight. Reports claim operations at Jeddah Airport were disrupted after the latest Houthi missile attacks. Saudi Arabia's strategic energy infrastructure has once again come under heavy pressure. Fresh Houthi strikes reportedly targeted multiple high-value Saudi military and economic sites. The conflict is now reaching deeper into Saudi territory as tensions continue to escalate. Missile attacks are now threatening both Saudi aviation and energy infrastructure simultaneously. The latest barrage suggests the regional conflict is entering an even more dangerous phase. The Saudi-led coalition launched airstrikes on Houthi positions in Hodeidah on July 24. Riyadh said the operation targeted facilities used to threaten commercial shipping in the Red Sea. Saudi officials confirmed the vessel NCC Marsa sustained minor hull damage during the latest attack. The incident came just 4 days after the Houthis announced a naval blockade on Saudi-linked shipping. The coalition described the strikes as a proportionate military response to recent Houthi attacks. Houthi-linked Al Mazira TV reported that Saudi airstrikes hit state telecommunications facilities in Hodeidah. The broadcaster also claimed Saudi aircraft targeted Kamaran Island off Yemen's western coast. Saudi officials insisted that Hodeidah port itself was not among the targets. Riyadh said the ports of Hodeidah, Ras Issa, and Salif remain open to commercial shipping. The Houthi-run foreign ministry called the strikes the beginning of an escalation for escalation phase. Yemen's foreign ministry said, and I quote, "The Saudi regime bears the consequences for any developments that will occur as a result of its criminal step." Instead of complying with the rightful and just demand to lift the blockade on Yemen, the Saudi regime has committed a major folly that will cost it dearly. By targeting Al Hodeidah Governorate, the equation of escalation with escalation will be the title of the next phase, unquote. The Houthis blamed Saudi Arabia for any consequences arising from the latest military operation. The renewed fighting follows the Houthis' declaration of a naval blockade targeting Saudi-linked shipping. Meanwhile, the United States and Saudi Arabia have announced a landmark civilian nuclear cooperation agreement.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.